Changing how we think about dementia. The real shift in how we view dementia isn't just about how we treat people with the condition. It's also about changing the world to better accommodate them. As Kitwood suggested, much of the fear surrounding dementia comes from those who don't have the syndrome. We fear being forgotten by our loved ones, but as Zeisel reminds us, memory isn't just about facts and names. People with dementia may struggle to recall certain details, but they often retain memories tied to emotions. Experiences, music, and significant life events can still bring joy and connection. In recent years, music therapy has shown promising results in helping people with dementia reconnect with their creativity. Take the case of Willie Gilder, a retired UK journalist diagnosed with Alzheimer's. After struggling to continue his lifelong hobby of drawing, he decided to experiment by playing his favorite music from the 1960s, songs by the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. To his amazement, the music reignited his ability to draw. There's no single explanation for how music affects the brain in this way, but it highlights the potential for growth and stimulation even in the face of cognitive decline. A new beginning. We still don't have a cure for dementia, but that doesn't mean there's no hope. As populations age, more and more people will face the possibility of cognitive decline. But people like James McKillop, who has lived with dementia for over 20 years, show us that life doesn't end with a diagnosis. With the right support, people with dementia can continue to live fulfilling, meaningful lives, just differently. Dementia is not a living death. For those who are allowed to change, supported by their communities, and given the stimulation they need, it can be the start of a radical new beginning. In 1999, at age 59, James McKillop received a life-altering diagnosis of dementia. Doctors told him he wouldn't live past 6 years and advised him to put his affairs in order. His world was unraveling, relationships fell apart, and he lost his job. At that time, receiving a diagnosis of dementia felt like a living death. It's a sentiment still shared by many. Fast forward to 2024, and the conversation around dementia is changing. The Alzheimer's Society in the UK released a fundraising video in which a son, holding back tears, describes how his mother died before her actual death. First when she forgot how to cook her famous roast, and again when she no longer recognized her own son. The emotional toll is undeniable. But today there is a growing push to rethink how we see dementia. McKillop himself has been part of this shift, helping to start one of the first advocacy groups, the Scottish Dementia Working Group, in 2002. Alongside others, he argues that dementia doesn't have to be a hopeless condition. It can be a new chapter in life. But can we really reimagine dementia as more than a living death? Is it possible to see it as a new stage of life, full of challenges, but also opportunities for growth and connection? Understanding dementia beyond the diagnosis. Dementia isn't just one condition. It's an umbrella term for various diseases that affect the brain, such as Alzheimer's, Huntington's, and Parkinson's. Cognitive decline associated with dementia wasn't well understood until the 20th century, and even then, it was often misattributed to aging rather than changes in the brain. It wasn't until the 1970s that researchers began to grasp the many factors that contribute to the onset of dementia, including things beyond just brain biology. According to the Lancet Commission on Dementia Prevention, around 40% of cases could be prevented by addressing factors like hearing loss, smoking, high blood pressure, and even social isolation. Studies have shown that people who maintain active social lives into middle and old age are 30 to 50% less likely to develop dementia. This shift in understanding highlights how critical social and environmental factors are in both preventing and managing the syndrome. A new approach to dementia, treating the person, not just the condition. The idea that dementia is shaped by more than just brain biology began gaining traction in the 1980s. Researchers like Thomas Kitwood, a social psychologist, believed in focusing on the person living with dementia, not just the neurological changes happening inside their brain. This person-centered approach has since transformed how dementia care is viewed, emphasizing the role of psychological and social factors in shaping a person's experience. Take, for example, the concept of meeting centers that have become common in the Netherlands and other countries. At these centers, people with dementia can spend the day engaging in activities, playing games, and socializing with others, including those without dementia. It's a stark contrast to the institutional model where people are often isolated, ignored, or over-medicated. Meeting centers help people with dementia stay connected to their community and build what scientists call cognitive reserve, a form of resilience that can help delay the impacts of the condition. Research has shown that people who attend meeting centers are more likely to live independently for longer. A study led by Rosemarie Droz, a professor of psychosocial care, found that after 7 months, only 4% people in meeting centers had been admitted to nursing homes, compared to 30% in more traditional care settings. Strength and potential in dementia. Authors and researchers have further emphasized the capacities that remain intact in people with dementia. In his book I'm Still Here, dementia expert John Zeisel points out that even as the brain changes, many functions remain: memories, creativity, and the ability to learn and enjoy life. The late Wendy Mitchell, a UK writer diagnosed with dementia, shared her experiences in books like Somebody I Used to Know and What I Wish People Knew About Dementia. Despite losing her ability to speak fluidly, she found writing to be a lifeline, allowing her to express her thoughts and feelings. In Japan, Yusuke Kake's book Walking in the World of Dementia invites readers to see dementia as a different world with its own customs, rather than something to be feared. These works challenge the belief that dementia is a gradual decline into nothingness. Instead, they show that with the right support, people with dementia can continue to grow, create, and connect with others in meaningful ways.